Hey, what is up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing an $800 AMD Ryzen gaming PC.
Let's get right into it, shall we? But first, a word from today's sponsor.
You know, dude, I've been having so many issues lately just getting views on my YouTube videos, and I can't figure it out, man.
Well, that is a perfect thing that you just mentioned, because right here is TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an awesome tool to help you grow on YouTube with a keyword optimization search engine tool, and also the ability to plan out your videos and overall get better analytics compared to YouTube alone.
Where has this been all my life?
You can check it out in the description down below and use that link because it helps us out. Now, into the video. Alright guys, so this is an $800 gaming PC, and we have to give a big thanks to Cooler Master and EVGA for helping us with some of the parts in this build. Oh, also Team Group and Deepcool. Yeah, more companies, you know, thanks to all the companies that work with us. It helps us do these PC builds more often. Now let's go ahead and talk about each part and exactly how it contributes to the $800 budget.
Alright guys, so what we have here is of course an AMD Ryzen 2600 because it's just the best bang for the buck right now. You get 6 cores, you get 12 threads, and it's more than enough to do all the multitasking you could want along with streaming and gaming. So what we have here is the black GeForce GTX 1660 from EVGA. Once again, thank you guys. This is the XC version. Has 2 fans, looks very, very nice, and it'll get the job done for streaming and, you know, basic gaming. So for the motherboard, we were a little bit conflicted on what to go with because this is a bigger case. So we ended up doing a B450M, and you're probably wondering why would we do that? Well, we saved like $30 going with an M, and it literally has all the same features as a full-size one besides not being a full ATX, but it has RGB and all its other really cool features on it. So we just decided to save a little bit of money and go with this one. So for the RAM, we have an 8 gig kick, 2 4 gig sticks at 2066. Huge thanks to Team Group because they sent over this T-Force RAM. Looks really nice. It kind of matches our color scheme. Now we are probably going to have a different link in the description for like 3200 megahertz RAM that's only $50, which is like a really good deal right now. So check that out in the description down below.
Now for storage, AdLink was nice enough to send over their 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD. Now the reason we went with this is because they make some awesome NVMe SSDs, and they were nice enough to send this over, and during the benchmark process we're going to show you exactly how fast this thing is. But normally here at the Toasty Bros we don't mess with NVMe drives because they're more expensive, but this one comes in really close to standard M.2 prices and also includes that awesome NVMe speed. So we're going to definitely check this out, and 1 terabyte of storage at this price range is honestly really awesome. Now thanks again to Cooler Master for this V650 gold power supply. 650 watts, 80 plus gold, fully modular. Yeah, you heard that right. This is a high-end power supply. Cooler Master basically was like, yo, we got this extra power supply, do you want to use it in a build? And of course, we found a way to do it in a higher end build. Normally in budget builds, you'd save a little bit money with something like an EVGA 500 watt, but if you're doing a high-end system, it's always a good idea to get more power for upgrades and also just, you know, better efficiency. So this case right here is the Matrexx 70. It is a, well, tempered glass covered case, and it's primed for some good RGB action. Deepcool is nice enough to send this thing over, and there's been a lot of reviews of this case already, but that's where the budget RGB fan market comes in handy. These are up here RGB fans. We have a 6-pack of RGB fans that we're going to be decking this case out with and making for a pretty decent value for money offering with a really nice case that comes in a little bit cheaper because it doesn't come with fans, and then you can get some really nice, cheap, but awesome fans from up here to make a really awesome RGB build. So how about we go ahead and put this thing together? Alright guys, so now that we have this PC built and all benchmarked, let's go ahead and recap this system and talk more about how it performs, along with a few shoutouts to a couple companies who helped make benchmarking this system possible. First up, thank you to BenQ for sending over their EX3203R 32-inch 1440p 144Hz monitor, curved with FreeSync 2 support. Yeah, that's a mouthful. This thing is a lot of monitor for your dollar. 32 inches at 1440p is kind of the sweet spot for a gaming monitor in 2019, along with that high refresh rate. You know how I am. I always prefer having a high refresh rate monitor over higher resolution, so getting something like this compared to a 4K panel for gaming is a night and day difference. This thing also covers 90% of the DCI P3 color gamut, which is really awesome for a video editor like me to get a semi-color accurate experience when editing videos for the Toasty Bros. It also does support HDR, which when I loaded up Far Cry 5, it actually defaulted to running in HDR mode. The 1660 in some games is very capable of playing games at 1440p, but also can totally crush games at 1080p as well. I really did love gaming on this monitor, and I do highly suggest if you're interested in picking up one for yourself, please check the link in the description down below. Thanks again to BenQ. This monitor is going to be awesome for future videos here on the Toasty Bros, and also a few gaming sessions when we get done with our work. Now back to those benchmarks. As I mentioned, I tested a couple games at 1440p and 1080p. At 1440p, this thing performed very well in esports titles, but when we stretched to games like Far Cry 5, that started to show where the 1660 was starting to become a bottleneck. But when we did drop the settings down to 1080p, this system performed flawlessly. A couple things I want to note. The RAM that we use in the system is 2666 megahertz. It is memory that Team Group did send over to us to use in the build. As always with Ryzen systems, we highly suggest to go over 3000 megahertz, and that is something we forgot to address in our last video, and we kind of got some criticism for it. We are using memory that companies send to us, and we do overclock it manually to 3000 megahertz when we do sell these systems to people. And in this case, we did run it at only 2666 because this memory is not that good for overclocking. So if you do want to get the most possible performance from this system, I do highly suggest you get 3000 megahertz memory, which will leave alternate selections down below. It's really not that much more expensive to go with that 3000 megahertz memory. That'll work out of the box with just a basic XMP profile. Now, I do also have to give a big thanks to AdLink with their S70 SSD. This NVMe SSD is honestly a killer value for your money. We normally go with M.2 drives here at the Toasty Bros. It just removes extra cables that you need and allows for a very clean system. And also the fact that they're about the same price as 2.5-inch SSDs right now. And with AdLink being a new player in the field, they wanted us to showcase their SSD in this build, and honestly, I am very impressed. So overall, this system is very impressive for the money. Did we invest a lot of money in the aesthetics? Yes, we did. But is this system honestly a good bang for the buck? It's pretty close. Yeah, we could have done a little bit better and gone with a cheaper case to deliver better value for your dollar, but we really wanted to showcase the Matrexx 70, and if you do want to see some other offerings that have similar price tags or maybe a little bit cheaper that might perform a little bit better, be sure to check out some of our other build guides on the channel. And with that, how about we transition into an outro real quick?
So hopefully you guys are pretty pleased with the benchmarks because we know that we were. And we are going to do a little disclaimer. We did just do a build that had a Ryzen 5 and a 1070 in it, and it was a little bit cheaper, and you guys are probably like, what the heck? Well, this is all new parts. This build didn't have a single use thing in it. The 1660 is brand new, and so is the processor and everything else. And then the case is super nice, and then it has some really cool RGB, like the 6 RGB fans. So we did put a little bit of extra money into aesthetics with this one, and it kind of shows. But, you know, overall, you're still getting a really good bang for the buck.
So if you did like this PC build and you want to build it yourself, please use the links in the description down below, and also comment down below if you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.
That felt weird, didn't it?
It felt weird. Hey,
I almost didn't know if you're going to be able to get it out.